ultimately this is what I want to cover. But I'm going to focus on valve adjustment and oil change. So I've got the oil drained out. Plug is back in, and I'm going to change the oil screen, or clean the oil screen. Alright, replaced the oil screen. Now I'm moving on to the oil filter. There we go. So here's my filter. For refilling, it says to lay the bike down on its side. Fill about 1/3 of the oil reservoir through here. Then put your new filter in, stand the bike up, and then put the rest of the oil in. So since I'm not filling up yet, I'm going to do the valves first. Just put the cap on for now, and then address the filling later once I'm done with the valves. But I've got my new filter right here. Thank you. Wow. That is awesome. Rusty.
It's a good one. Better than the last one.
Hold on. Whatever it is those. Yeah, that's awesome. Yesterday I got the valve cover cleaned off pretty well, so it's time to remove the cover. So I'm gonna check these valves. 3. So 0.13 at the exhaust on the left. And I believe I have 0.15 exhaust on the right. That feels pretty good. Okay, so I'm checking, I'm gonna point to it, checking right in there. This is the exhaust side, this is the intake. So I marked it 0.13. So I'll check my intake. I had 0.13 and 0.1. Feels a little tight. 0.13 feels a little tight. I think it's 0.12. I'm gonna go right in between. So I'm gonna say it's 0.12. And then 0.1 on right side. That went in fairly easily. 0.13 does not go. I'm gonna say it's 0.12. So we're actually okay. So I cleaned up the edge here just making sure not to get any of the little rubber bits, or I think there was some sealant on there, making sure it didn't fall down inside. And then there's a little bit of dirt and grime around the spark plug, so I cleaned that up and ready to put the cover on. Since I didn't have to shim any of the valves and take them out and deal with the cam chain tensioner, or the timing chain, I ended up holding off on changing my cam chain tensioner, which is located right here. I purchased this Dirt Tricks tensioner, which apparently is a little bit better than the stock one. But since I didn't have to take this out, I'm going to wait until the next time. So you have to take this out and take the timing chain off when you're actually shimming the valves. So probably the next service I'll have to do that. Here's my valve cover. I bought a new gasket. Let's see. And I'll save this one as a spare. Alright, so I'm just tightening up my valve cover, and the manual says to tighten to 5.9. There we go. I tightened, for the most part, I tightened it without the torque wrench just to get them started, and then tightening down with the torque wrench just to make sure everything's as it should be. Let's do this one. There we go. Time to reconnect the breather hose. Breather hose on, reconnect this clamp. Out the valves, so I didn't end up needing to do that, but good practice. Put the washer back in. oil screen plug is supposed to be at 11.1 foot-pounds, so I'm just going to make sure that I tighten that enough. Alright, I'm taking the oil filter cover back off, and I have my new filter. First I'm going to fill about 1/3 of the oil per the manual, and then you put your new filter back in. We'll see how much this... It's pretty good. Perfect. I had to take a pause because when I had taken out this mini little fuel filter that goes in the fuel line from the tank, I had poked a couple holes in it when I was trying to remove it. So basically I had used a tiny little Allen wrench to pop inside here and pull it out, and I had grabbed the screen and put a little hole in it, so I didn't want to put that back in. So I've got some new ones. Actually looks like there's another filter in there inside, but that looks pretty clean. I can see it. Make sure this thing will turn over and that I put everything back together correctly. I just ran it for a minute or so, and the oil level is now at a good level. So I've got the bike fully upright off the kickstand, and now that it's cycled through, it's in the mid section of the red circle, which is where it should be.